Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us as we sign this historic and critical legislation into law. Today we are advancing a vision for a new, affordable, livable community here at Fort Lawton. We can clap for that, right?
Yes.
You know, we're taking the first step for making the dream of affordable housing a real thing for hundreds of Seattle residents. Now, my remark said it took almost 15 years, but we made it.
Yeah.
But I want to go back in time a little bit before that, because as I was driving over here, I could not help but think about my friend Bernie Whitebear. And in March of 1970, he and a number of other activists got together under what at the time they called themselves the American Indian Fort Lawton Occupation Forces. And they decided they would take part of Fort Lawton and make it, you know, now we have Daybreak Star to commemorate that, but anyone who knew Bernie knew his vision for Seattle was much bigger than that. And it's a reason that we see in Seattle now the fruits of the labors of him and his close friends. His friend Roberto Maestas and Estela Ortega and others took a school on Beacon Hill that is now El Centro de la Raza, which is the heart of the community and provides housing for so many. We saw Bob Santos make sure that the Chinatown International District kept people in place. And Larry Gossett, who founded, the Central Area Motivation Program and made sure that we took care of people. So what we're doing today, though it feels like it's 15 years, we're standing on the shoulders of people who had the vision long before us to know that we had to open this city and everywhere we could to make it open and for all people in this community. It's never been more important in Seattle. Our city has grown so fast. And housing affordability has become the crisis of our time. As we've grown, we've seen more and more communities of color pushed out of Seattle and fewer people who can afford to be in Seattle. We have to change that, and we have to change it in every part of our city. And today we're seeing a start of one of the really great things we're going to be able to do in the Fort Lawton redevelopment. Not only will we have more housing here, we'll have more green space. There'll be more part of the park for Discovery Park, which is such a treasure and jewel for Seattle. We'll have fields for kids to play on. But most importantly, we're continuing with that tradition of 1970 where community said, let's make sure that our city is open to everybody, everywhere. So I could not be more pleased to be able to be the person who signs into law, but know that I stand on the shoulders of efforts that have happened, not just for the last 15 years by our Office of Housing and all the people who've worked for this, but in the 1970s for those who had a vision of a Seattle that was more inclusive, more welcoming, and demanded that we live up to our ideas of equity. So we will have over 238 mixed income affordable units in this new neighborhood, which is going to be amazing. Yeah. And you're going to hear today from some of the people who are going to make this dream real. Flo Beaumon, who's from Catholic Community Services, will talk after me. We've got Michael Tulee, who is at Daybreak Star now and literally is the person who gets to oversee some of those amazing programs started years ago. Brett D'Antonio, who's Habitat Homeowner here, who will be here. We're really doing something special and different here at Fort Lawton to make sure that that affordable housing and home ownership possibility is for everyone in Seattle, and that there is no neighborhood that people in Seattle can't live in, and we've got to make that real. So how do we use public properties and surplus properties? This was such a great opportunity to make sure that we took something in the public realm and made sure it was open to everybody and benefited this city. So it is such an honor as mayor to be able the person to finally be able to sign this legislation, see this made real. And now I want to turn it over to Flo, who will talk a little bit more. So Flo, the floor is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Durkan. Catholic Housing Services and Catholic Community Services would first like to acknowledge that this is native land. In recognition of the sacredness and the significance of this land, CHS and CCS are honored to be working alongside the United Indians of All Tribes Foundation and Habitat for Humanity to develop affordable housing to serve veterans, seniors, and families, some of whom are experiencing homelessness right now. The scale of our cities and counties, and indeed our nation's catastrophe of homelessness, is obvious to everybody. CCS and CHS have many years of experience providing shelter and housing to people without a home, and we have moved thousands of people back into homes, stability, health, and employment. The services we provide via case management, behavioral health treatment, and community building are what heal people and help keep them whole. One of the beauties of this development at the former Army base is that it will be mixed income, as Mayor Durkan said, serving a combination of populations and needs. Our affordable family housing, rental housing, will be filled with parents, children, and grandparents who will work at businesses in Seattle. These are the people that our housing market is pushing far out of town into terrible commutes and taking time away from their kids. These are people for whom housing assistance will create family stability and economic growth. Our senior housing will bring elders who have been homeless into a building with support services. Catholic Housing Services has many examples of successful housing for formerly homeless people. A cultural focus with the Native American community will create the right kind of housing for the people who disproportionately suffer poverty and homelessness, the people who have been here on this land first and longest. Nobody knows better than the Native community and the United Indians of All Tribes Foundation how to care for their people, and Catholic Housing Services is grateful for this partnership. I would like to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Michael Tulee, the Executive Director of the United Indians of All Tribes.
Thank you, Flo. First and foremost, I would like to pay tribute to the founder of United Indians, who is, as indicated by Mayor Durkan, Bernie Whitebear. It was a dream of his many years ago that this kind of a structure would be built for our people, and I'm glad it's coming to fruition. Look forward to making it happen in the most powerful way. Very honored to be standing here before you today. There's of course, we all know that the rise of the cost of living is making it way more difficult for our people to afford to live in the city. Year by year, our middle income people are being pushed out further, as indicated by Flo. There's been in the last decade, home prices have increased 60%, 3 times the national growth rate. Fortunately, Mayor Durkan and the City of Seattle has looked at this as something that they need to take on, used a lot of wisdom behind it to make these decisions and mitigating our city's challenges. We're systematically constructing possibilities for the less fortunate, which will, in the end, benefit us all. We are looking forward to giving it our all. There's in helping those who are less fortunate, such as our elders, our lower income renters and homeowners. And I would like to say thank you, and I would like to introduce Brett D'Antonio. Brett is currently the Habitat for Humanity the CEO. Brett brings an extraordinary background in construction management. Habitat for Humanity constructs affordable homes, revitalizes neighborhoods, repairs homes for low-income people and seniors, and they operate discount home improvement stores. Brett?
Thank you. Thanks for that great introduction. Thank you to Mayor Durkan, City Council, and the Office of Housing, who have moved this project forward over the last many years. We are very excited to see it move forward. Habitat Seattle King County is one of 1,200 North American affiliates of Habitat for Humanity International, with the simple mission of providing affordable home ownership opportunities to families who are just out of reach of achieving that on their own. Here at Fort Lawton, we will build around 50 3-bedroom row homes and townhomes that are roughly 1,200 square feet. They're family-sized units, and they'll be sold to families of up to 6 people. Habitat has been in King County for more than 30 years. In that time, we've built over 300 homes and repaired more than 200. Our homeowners earn less than 80% of area median income. They have jobs, they work hard, they're your neighbors, and you know them. They must be creditworthy to be able to qualify for a small mortgage, which we help make affordable. And under our self-help model, future homeowners perform a minimum of 250 hours of sweat equity. A large portion of those hours are building their own home and the home of their future neighbors. All Habitat homes are part of our land trust program, which means they will never be sold on the open market. A homeowner earns equity by paying down their mortgage and through an appreciation formula that ensures that when the home is sold to the next buyer, another family under 80% of area median income can afford to own it. To talk a little bit more about the success of our program, I'd like to introduce JAHNA Smith, who's a Habitat homeowner and a member of our board of directors.
Hi, thank you. So my name is JAHNA, and I'm a Habitat homeowner. I've been in my home for 18 years, and it was such an amazing experience, and it changed who I was as a person. When I moved into my house, I was a single mom with 2 kids, and working in my home and building it, it gave me not only just a home to live in and stability, but it gave me life skills and gave me the chance to believe in myself. And because of that, many years later, I got remarried and had more children, and then my husband passed away. But because of the strength and the ability to believe in myself, I was able to put myself back through school. And now I'm working as a oncology nurse at a local hospital, and I give back to my community regularly every day because I gained not just a home, but I gained strength and a sense of community, and I'm so excited about this opportunity to bring this opportunity to other homeowners in this community here in Magnolia. Sorry, that's it.
That's great. So I'm going to sign it, and then we can take some questions that people have. We're signing it's 3 pieces of legislation. Come on, you guys, gather around. As I said before, so many people deserve credit for this. It was impossible to have everyone, but really grateful for the people who could come today. Do so many pens so you can actually have one of the pens that you use to sign. We're going to wait till we get them all done. Should I do the last one?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. All these years in the making, we're finally there. Well done. Thank you so much. Congratulations. All right, that's right. All right. There. Wow. Got a pen. All right. That's right. Grab a pen, you guys. You earned them. Cool. So I don't know if there's any questions. If there are, I or others would be happy to answer them. But I do think this just shows that some things take a lot of time in Seattle. But when we pull together and really look at things, we can make sure that this city actually opens itself and continues to be that city we believe in, that people can continue to live here. We will make sure we support and help others, and that we will open every corner of the city to make it affordable for as many people as we can. Essex.
Good morning. You were mentioning it took 15 years to get this far. In light of our current crisis, why does this take so long?
You know, it really goes back to 1970 if you want to take how long it took. I'm going to focus not just on what's in the rearview mirror. I think this will show the people of the city what we can do if we put our mind to it. And we're not going to take as long for the next project and the project after that. We've seen now, we passed MHA, we're going to build more density in Seattle, and we're going to use that money in every part of the city to make sure that we open up affordable housing for everybody. Not just low-income housing, but making sure that everyone has that ability to own their house, like you heard today, to have that place they can call home for them and their families. And we're also going to make sure that our middle class, our teachers, our firefighters, our healthcare workers, our nurses, that they have somewhere to live in this city. So this may have taken a while, but what it does is it gives us a model that we know works, and we're going to continue to push forward in every part of this town to get as much housing as quickly as we can.
When you say as quickly as we can, you mentioned so many groups that need housing. For all of them, the crisis is now. When does the additional housing come online?
We have a range of housing that's going to come online for different times. So by 2024, we'll have added thousands, over 5,000 new low-income housing units between us and the city and SHA. We're also going to be looking for every opportunity we can to do programs like this. We've seen Plymouth and Bellwether step up to have their own campaigns using corporate financing and nonprofits so that they can build hundreds of units. We have to have everybody in this fight. And that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing people coming together, people doing their own raising so that we can get, as quickly as we can, more housing that's affordable for the range of people in Seattle.
What would you say to those who have frankly opposed housing here, other places in town, the sort of changes that would bring more housing in, whether it's backyard cottages or the developments here? What would you say to those who are concerned about those, whose actions help delay things, but maybe to get them to step aside some, embrace this housing, not delay so much?
I think that when they see this project built, they're going to wonder why they didn't do it long ago. And we've seen those projects. If you go to El Centro de la Raza on Beacon Hill, it has become the heartbeat for that community. And so, I just found out last week that I am the first mayor of Seattle elected who was actually born in Seattle. And so I have seen changes in Seattle that are enormous. But the thing that sets us apart as a city is we have been committed to certain ideals and principles. And one of those principles is equity and making sure we take care of each other and our neighbors. We can't do that without changing. And so we need more growth to make sure that we can live up to the ideals that make Seattle what is its best self.
How long is the federal review period expected to last, and what will the city be doing while they wait for that to go through?
So I'll let someone talk about the exact review period, but we're not waiting to get the other stuff done. It's not going to be sequential.
So we'll be submitting intents first we submit the plan to the federal government. We anticipate it should be just a few months as they review that. As a reminder, the federal government did accept and approve our previous plan that was submitted, and this is in '08, and this is growing off of that plan. Then over the next coming months, we'll be working on the conveyance process, and at the same time working on all the infrastructure planning to make sure that we're ready to go as soon as possible.
All right. Thank you all for being here. It's a great day for Seattle, and we've got to do more of this as quickly as we can. Thank you.